I'd like to call the meeting to order of the Florence School District 3 Board of Trustees. Since we are live streaming, I think everybody, all the board members should go around and introduce themselves so that you will know who is here. And also, Jaquel Brown is on the phone.
Almeda Fleming,
Paul Morris, Julia Mims,
Barbara Bryant, Maddie Thomas,
Jason Kirby.
Thank you. In accordance with the South Carolina Code of Laws, 1976, Section 30-4-80-809D, as amended, the following have been notified of the time, date, place, and agenda of this meeting: the Morning News, the Lake City Shopper, WBTW, WPDE, and WNBL. This agenda is also posted on the Florence County School District 3 website. And now we will stand and have a moment of silence, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. But first we'll hear from Dr. Hickson about any concerns in the district.
okay. Madam Board Vice Chair and other members of the board, we would like for you to keep all of the Florence School District 3's family and friends and students in your thoughts and prayers. Please pause for a moment of silence.
And now we'll have the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And now we need to approve the agenda. I make a motion that we approve the agenda.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the agenda. Is there any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. And now we need to approve the consent agenda.
Madam Chair, I move that we approve the consent agenda.
We have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. Is there any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Then we'll have communications to the board. Everyone's here for public participation, I'm assuming. All right, now we're at the board chair report. Has anybody been to any meetings since our last meeting? If they need to report on?
Yes, I attended the South Carolina Caucus of Black School Board Members 2021 Impact Conference. It was held on Friday, July 16th and Saturday, July 17th at the Columbia Convention Center on that Saturday. I attended on Saturday. We would like to thank Board Member Jaquel Brown, as he was the conference committee chairperson, and Ms. Cheryl Hinton Harris is the president of the Black Caucus. This conference was very enlightening. It was motivating. It was action-packed. It started from the very beginning with the opening session, and then the village impact, the past, the present, and our future by Dr. Bobby Donaldson. And he's the director of Civil Rights History and Research at the University of South Carolina. Dr. Donaldson gave us a step-by-step history update about the impact of African Americans in on education. Then we had our best practices of building and maintaining the village by Dr. Amanda Patterson. Then we had a legislative update by Representative Annie McDaniel. She was a former school board member. Then Knowing Your Role in the Village by Charles Weathers. He was president of the Weathers Group. The Village Impact, a committed school and community. And again, this conference was very impactful. It gave us action information, what should be taught in our schools regarding African American history, and I appreciate the opportunity to attend.
I attended a meeting on Saturday as well.
And what I found interesting then was there was a bill passed where Black history should have been taught in schools since 1984, if I'm not mistaken. And I am going to implore the board and everybody connected to the school district to see if we can budget money, how do we implement this in schools, because there are amazing people that contributed to South Carolina ever since we came over on the ship. But we don't know nothing about these people. And if the bill was passed, you're going to teach American history. How is the American history about Native African Americans and Mexican people? Because all of us contributed to this country. And African Americans contributed greatly, you know, to this country. Yet it's not taught. And I don't know how it was overlooked, but I am going to push for it not only in School Board 3, District 3. I am going to the State House. And they know I'm coming because I never informed them. I informed this Senator Fanning, I'm going to be there. We're going to get this put in schools because how can it be American history if kids of color not included, the people of color not included, or the Native Americans whose land we sit on not included. So Ms. Hickson already knows, because I was about to jump out my chair at the meeting, that this should be a part of District 3. And I'm on my way to the State House to see Rodney Kirby and Senator Sass and everybody else I know at the State House to see why this is not in South Carolina, because if I know where I'm coming from, then I know where I'm going. And that's very important to me right now. I'm going to make this my mission. I promise everybody this. And I wish everybody would join me, because the more we know, the better it is for us. And if we're going to teach American history, then it must include everybody who has settled and grow this land. And that's what I took away from it. So that is my mission. And I wish everybody would join me, because it's American history. And we are all Americans, and we all contributed to the growth of this country. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anybody else have any reports? If not, we'll move to staff updates. First, we have our finance update with Ms. Michelle Humphrey. Oh, I'm sorry. Does anybody want to attend it? I forgot.
I would like to attend, and Ms. Ruth and Bryson was not able to be here tonight. She wanted to put on record that she wants to attend the Beyond the Basic workshop on October 7th. And she also went on to say that she wanted to attend the Legislative Advocacy Conference on December 4th and 5th. I would like to attend the Beyond the Basic workshop on October 7th as well.
I would like to attend the legislature on the 4th and 5th of December.
All right. Anybody else have any requests? Too far.
It's really too far in advance.
I'm impressed y'all got it together, but.
Well, no, Ms. Ruth had it together, and I followed her. But what we'll look at for the Legislative Advocacy Conference on December 4th and 5th as well, I know it's coming up. Who went last year, who went the year before that, so we can share it around, so the same people are not going every year.
All right.
Can you attend even if the school board don't say?
Yes.
ma'am.
Okay.
Now we'll have the finance update with Ms. Michelle Humphrey. I'm so sorry. Our mission is to ensure our students are college or career ready and are productive and responsible members of society. The June 21 financials are linked to your board agenda. They're also posted on the website. And our last year's 2021 balance was $30,162,700 with the additional $530 of the common fund balance.
these are the numbers that are the final as how it's compared to the 1920 that was frozen and where we ended the year. And you can see the difference is the 530,000 budget wise that we, the board approved for the fund balance. We are in the process of closing the year, the 2021 school year, and preparing for the audit. There's still a lot of work to be done, but it does look like we're going to be able to put savings back into the fund balance. The exact numbers will be at a later date, and have a lot more to look for. This is our New Year's budget that was passed in June, and after our call meeting on June the 29th, I promised that I would show you how the effects of the changes that we put in affected that. So this is the object code, the numbers with the changes that were passed. The amended object codes will be our original starting version, and I broke it out by instructional and support as I did last year, just so that you would have those numbers. And that is all that I have for this evening.
Are there any questions about the financial report? Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And now we'll have the human resources update with Ms. Scott.
Good evening.
Next, we have updated your vacancy report for July. Actually, since this was done this week, we actually filled another math position, a teaching position, and an early childhood position as well.
So what do you think? Do you think you'll get them all filled?
We're going to work really hard to do so.
Is this time last year, did we have this many vacancies?
This time last year was actually a little bit different, honestly, for, during that time, we had less people actually transitioning. I think everyone remained pretty still, because I started over. Are there any questions? Thank you.
Keep working. All right, now we'll have the instructional update with Ms. Mary Howard.
Good evening, Mr. Board Chair and Co-Chair. Instructional updates. We are excited to bring you updates this month. We have opened our tutoring center that's on 140 Westover Street. It's open Monday through Thursday from 9 to 3. We're currently serving over 30 students. We had updates just this week. We have students from 5K through 9th grade being served in ELA and in math. We are partnering with Francis Neary and with Dr. Bullock and Mr. Jamie Danielson with teaching your child to read in 100 easy ways. And it's a very direct, explicit instruction for early reading skills. And so we're using that with our younger students. And our tutors, we do have our very own Lake City High School graduates back to support our endeavors with tutoring throughout the summer. And so you will hear more about that when Dr. Hickson presents as well. We've also been very busy. We had an ACT Bootcamp for our 11th graders that took place on July 13th through the 15th. Our teachers before in the month of June attended the ACT Educators Workshop to prepare for this boot camp. And we wanted to be able to provide our students with different strategies when they went in to take the test. So they did a workshop with rotating throughout the morning. So they had ELA in the morning on July 13th, and then science in the afternoon, and then they flip-flopped today. And then on the 14th, they had reading and math. And then on the 15th, we were in additional support from USC to do more ACT prep, just to give the students some extra strategies and confidence. And then the students actually took the test that following Saturday on July 17th. So that was very exciting to be able to provide that opportunity for our students. Also, we are doing the WINS College Bootcamp. Last week we had high school bootcamp for between July 12th and 15th, and this week we'll have our middle school students. And I think last month we talked about the work that the WINS are doing in Florence District 3, and this is just another example of this. This was a 4-day intensive boot camp helping students prepare for college. Day 1, they talked about their gifts and talents and interests to just kind of get ready to start preparing for their resumes. On day 2, they did researching colleges and programs. Day 3, how to pay for college. So getting students looking at scholarships that are available, how much school costs, what's the price of different programming. And then on day 4, they had an opportunity to work with college applications and submit scholarship plans. And we had one of our very own, Miss Jayla Jones, was a featured intern that was working with the WINS doing this boot camp. So we're very happy to be able to present this to you tonight. And also in the month of June, Florence School District 3 really shined when we went to our I3 conference, which is held annually at Myrtle Beach through SCASA for courageous leadership. We had several people to present at the conference, so we are very proud of Dr. Hickson and Ms. Casey Fagan. They presented engaging partners with stakeholders, partnerships with stakeholders, and so they were sharing their knowledge of the work that we do in Florence School District 3, and board members, you would be very proud of these presentations. Also, we had Dr. Commodore to present on MTSS with targeted interventions that work, and Mr. Ned Blake and Mr. Jerry State presented on strategies to re-engage endangered populations through effective alternative school practices. And we got to show off what we were doing in Florence School District 3. So what is the best way for people to know what we're doing is to be able to share and tell our story. And these presenters were doing that at the conference, and we were very proud. And I will tell you, the conference rooms were packed, and we were so impressed. I don't even think I got into Ms. Hickson and Casey's presentation because it was standing room only. Mr. Blake and Mr. State had standing room only, and we had people asking for our support to come out. So I think that it is worth noting that we are sharing our story and what we're doing in Florence 3 and what's working for us. Any questions from the instructional update?
I have a question, but kudos.
Kudos, yes, kudos. There's lots of moving parts, but they're all worth being moved. Thank you.
Thank you. And now we'll have our operational update from Ms. Casey Fagan.
So, Ms. Howard mentioned about testing. She talked about ACT. We are currently in the process of giving end of course tests for our summer school students who are taking additional credit. We have started that process at Lake City High School, and we have some that will start at J. Paul Trulick as well. So any student who took a summer school class that was for initial credit in English 2, biology, algebra 1 or intermediate algebra, and U.S. history have to complete that end of course test, and all of those tests have to be completed by August 6th. I did want to provide this link for you. This has all the assessment dates for the upcoming school year. Some of them are testing windows, and some of them are specific dates for testing. But if you go to that link, all of the state required testing will be listed there with the dates. This is just a plea. If you know anyone who would drive a school bus that would like to go through the process of getting their CDL, we are in desperate need of bus drivers at the moment. As Sharon McClown put it, we are in probably one of the worst situations we've had as far as the number of drivers. So Sharon's working on a plan for that, but everybody you see asking if they'd like to drive a bus. And we can refer them to Mr. George Brown to get the training that they need to get their CDL. We do have the back to school bash for parents and students scheduled, and Ms. Paula Morris is actively involved in this. It is scheduled for August the 14th from 3 to 6. It will be at the Lake City High School gym. We are partnering with the community for the conference, that group, and more information will be coming. We just got the flyers, so we'll be getting those out to you as well. But I just wanted to give you a heads up. That will be upcoming on August 14th. I've heard some discussion about this before the meeting started. As you are all aware, there was a proviso that was passed, 1.108. It was in the budget, and it basically said that no school district or any of its schools may use any funds appropriated or authorized pursuant to this act to require that its students and or its employees wear face masks at any of its educational facilities. This extends to the enforcement of a policy. If you look down, it also says what the State Department of Ed interpreted that proviso. We've got a letter on that, and it basically says that any school is prohibited from requiring students and employees to wear face masks while at any educational facilities for the upcoming school year, and that would also include all property owned and operated by the individual district. State Superintendent Molly Spearman went a step forward, and she said if you try to do this, you could lose some state money. So it was very clear on how we had to proceed with this. We put out a statement yesterday or the day before notifying parents that this had passed and that would, what we could do, what we would be doing with the upcoming school year. And then Brian sent out some emails and some emails you guys as well. So I wanted to make sure that you all were aware of that in case there are any questions that come to you.
It's not mandatory. We can't make it mandatory, but we can strongly encourage.
Right, and we put that statement out that we can't mandate it, we can't require it, but we do encourage it. And we also put that we encourage vaccinations as well. We have a policy that needs to be revised. This is the school wellness policy, and I saw that Ms. Sheila sent this policy out to you guys, and we had it reviewed, and there were just some minor tweaks that needed to be made in the policy. So on page 1, under the subtitle competitive foods and beverages, the third sentence needs to be removed. The last sentence of that paragraph as well. So very specific things. You have a copy of the entire policy, so you know exactly what those changes are. So these are revisions that need to be made to this particular policy. It's not going to change the message of the policy, just those minor changes.
Does anyone have any questions about this policy?
Second.
Is there any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed, no.
Thank you.
And now we're ready to hear from our superintendent, Dr. Laura Hickson.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I would like to start by just reminding parents that we still need all students to register for school. So it is on the website, and if you have questions or need assistance, call your school or just call the district office. We're excited to share our theme for the 2021-22 school year, which is the power of one. We would encourage all of our students, our staff, and parents to use their power of one to develop innovative solutions to address the issues and the problems that we will face as we come back from this pandemic. And we all know that there are some challenges. We we're starting to work on learning loss. We have some very innovative things that we're putting in place. We have 3 schools, Main Street Elementary, Ronald E. McNair, and Lake City Early Childhood, who have already scheduled a community meeting. They're going to meet at the Boys and Girls Club just so that we can hear from parents and share some of the challenges and concerns that we already see, but we also want to hear them because they may have some problems or some challenges that we're not aware of. But I know if we work together, we'll be able to find a solution for those problems. So I commend those 3 principals for being proactive and for just taking that initiative to set up this meeting. Because we all know, regardless and despite all of the challenges and everything that's going on, we are still required to meet these goals that we have. We still have 6 goals with metrics to accomplish. Yesterday and today, we did professional development with all the principals and assistant principals as well as district leadership, and it was excellent. Talking about strategies for improving high quality schools. We had an excellent meeting today. All of the folks that's from the leadership team, from Ms. Fagan, Ms. Howard, and a number of our principals led those workshops today and yesterday, but again, it's excellent. Our focus for the 2021-22 school year will be on the power of 1. Every student matters, our parents matters, every employee. Each one of us have the power to bring value to create success of the village. And this village is Florence School District 3. We've talked about the fact that every student impacts the classroom. And when our students are successful, then our classrooms are successful. And when all of our classrooms are successful, then our schools will be successful. And in order for our district to be successful, it takes successful schools. So it all works together so that we have a successful Florence School District, a successful district. We're also going to be working on creating a culture of innovation, leveraging the community, that community involvement. Research shows if you really want to get sustained change that will last, then you need to involve the folks where problems exist. So again, I commend those 3 principles for taking the initiative to go out. Education, we all know, will change lives. So it is critical that we provide a positive education for every student. Accelerated student academic performance in all core content. During our workshop, we talked about the instructional protocols that we have in place. Ms. Howard talked about our tutoring earlier. We have the interventionists that we will have. We're going to be focused on integrating the arts with our students. And then we're going to continue to focus on the post-education college and careers. We will be putting a lot of focus on addressing social and emotional disorders. We've had that overview as well over the past couple of days. We will be implementing the MTSS, multi-tiered systems of support framework, so that we can address the social and emotional needs of our students. We will have increased services on Monday. I have dealing with mental health, because back in June I requested additional mental health counseling. So we're meeting on Monday to follow up on that. And then we will be providing professional growth and development in services.
we're going to focus on the one initiative of leadership development and growth, because research shows that we have an effective leader in the building, it includes testing. So we will focus on leadership development and as well as other professional development that supports student achievement. Mary mentioned earlier that we have our tutoring center open, and we have a grand opening scheduled for August 12th, which is the same day that we have set aside for open house. Madam Chair, we definitely would like for you to be there, as well as other members of the board. If you can be there, we will do an official ribbon cutting. We're going to invite the president of the chamber, of course the mayor, and other city officials. So we're very excited to have this opportunity for our students. We're excited that students and parents are already taking advantage of the tutoring center. We're also continuing our partnership with the Continuum, with Florence Darlington Tech and Francis Marion University. We're going to continue our partnership with the Boys and Girls Club, as well as Allen University. Allen University plans to attend back to school bash. They plan to bring an entire bus with their football players and other staff from Allen University. So they plan to be here to support this effort. We have 6 tutors, as Mary mentioned earlier, but I also want to say that we are continuing our partnership with Mathnasium as well. We now have 13 students enrolled at Mathnasium. She sent me an email to inform me that they just assessed 2 additional students. So we now have 13 students there. We have 19 students enrolled in Clemson's reading program, summer reading program, and of course the 30 plus that we have at the tutoring center. So again, parents are hearing more about it, and they are getting their students signed up. The goal is to take students from where they are and grow them. It's all about growing. We will have another stakeholders breakfast on Monday at 8:30. If you missed the previous breakfast, if you are available, please try to come. We invited again, ministers, business managers, and owners from our area. I also intentionally invited community members connected to the arts, because the State Department is encouraging school districts to partner with the arts, because we all know that when students are involved and engaged in arts, it improves academic achievement. So we're going to get as many students as possible connected to the arts, and we're going to partner with our community arts businesses to help us do that. So we're excited about that, and we're going to make sure that we continue to integrate arts into our core curriculum. Our first, I talked to you earlier about working on Florence School District 3's retention and recruitment. We will have our first meeting on Thursday, July the 29th. Those, I think, the 3 board members that have agreed to serve, so you will get an email with that invitation. And as we meet and come up with ideas, we will share them with the entire board, so that you will just be in the know of what we're doing. One of the things that we are looking at to, as part of this recruitment piece, we're going to actually involve our current teachers, because sometimes if they're still connected to folks back at the universities, we're
going to include the home district program. We're going to connect with them so that we can try to get more teachers and folks interested in Florence School District 3. Also, just want to share that we will participate in district and school level administrators training on Tuesday and Wednesday. The consultant will be Dr. Stephen Peters, and the topic that I've asked them to focus on will be the art of leadership, leading during and after a pandemic, creating the new normal. And that will be held at the Continuum. And also our district attorneys, Dave Duff and the team will be here that afternoon on that Tuesday, and we'll discuss topics such as Title IX, special education, and how to properly supervise and document personnel. So that training will also be on next Tuesday. Before you see the board dates for the 2021 board year dates for 2021-22 school year. If you would note the highlights for February's meeting, we have that changed to the 4th Thursday, because normally we have the school board conference in February. And then if you note the blue, we have spring break. So we use that particular date to the second Thursday through the spring break.
All right, so you see the board dates for you in the motion.
Madam Chair, I make a motion that we approve the scheduling for 2020-21-22 for the boards of trustees.
Second. We have a motion and a second to approve the 2021-2022 meeting dates for the Florence School District 3 Board of Trustees. Is there any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed, no. Motion carries.
And in closing, we value our students, staff, parents, stakeholders, community, and business leaders. And it takes all of us to accomplish our mission, which is to ensure our students in college.
And now we need to exit public session and enter into executive session. Look at the motion.
Madam Chair, I'll make a motion to enter into executive session to discuss hiring, termination, resignation, or potential legal matters.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to enter into executive session to discuss personnel regarding hiring, termination, resignation, or potential legal matters. Is there any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no.